Hello, happy Wednesday. I hope wherever you are that you and your loved ones are safe and well, that you're having a good week and a good day. This week I wanted to talk to you guys about perspective and just, anyway, perspective. Last week I went to my doctor's and I was in the urologist's office and I was going over the whole story, which maybe I'll get into all that someday, but it's a little too much right now for me to delve into too deeply. But I said, well, and then when I had my stroke, and the two of them whipped around and they said, "You had a stroke?" And so I said, "Yeah," and Christmas Eve 2021. And it dawned on me how I felt last year to this year. And I talked about it a little bit in the blog last week about what a difference a year makes. And it surprises me because I think I can actually say the words, when I had my stroke without it completely incapacitating me mentally. I feel like I've obviously come a very long way. And even at that time, within hours, I had come a long way of the actual event. But it feels so different to me now that I can say it's almost 2 years since it happened. And that blows my mind. That it's almost 2 years. But I also feel like this year is so different than last year for so many reasons. And I feel I'm in such a better place, just physically and mentally, and I thought I was in a good place last year, even though I was panicked about dealing with the first anniversary, stroke anniversary. It felt so much bigger in my mind than it actually really was. And I mean, it is a big deal. Every year that someone gets away from having had a stroke is a very big deal. Trust me on that. Because it feels gigantic and, especially for people who haven't had a repeat, which, knock wood, there will be no repeat. But it is a big deal to go through something like that and then to get distance from it. It just feels like you're not going to get distance from something like that. And then when you do, it is a celebration. And I thank God for it every day that I have come as far as I have. But I'm so grateful this year for so many other reasons that I just feel like I've gotten this tremendous distance from that horrible event. And it doesn't hurt me the way it did even 12 months ago, which doesn't seem like a long time, but it is a long time. And it'll be 2 years in a matter of weeks. And it's surprising to me. And I don't know. But also I think the move, and I know I can't stress this enough, and I know I keep saying it, but the move was so good for me and for all of us, but it was good for us in a growth way, in a moving on way, moving forward way that I didn't think was possible. And yet here I am, and I'm so grateful for where we are and the whole thing. What a difference time makes. And it's something you can't see before it happens. Sometimes you can see like, oh, when I do such and such, it'll be so much better for me. And you can have that insight into whatever you're about to do. But for me, I did not have that insight. I didn't want the insight. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want. But man, am I grateful. I'm grateful that we had to. I'm grateful that we did. And I'm grateful that I can sit here almost 24 months later and say it has been nearly 2 years since my stroke. And lingering things, my eyes. I would say my eyes are because all my other medical problems I attribute to my other medical problems. I don't attribute it to the stroke. But perspective is a funny thing, and I would say when you're afraid to do something that you have to do, that is happening whether you want it to or not, like give yourself the grace to feel that fear and that worry, but don't count that out before you have to do it, if that makes sense. Because after living in the same place for nearly 26 years, obviously we were nervous about making a big change, but it's actually been good for everybody involved, I think. And I don't know, I just feel like I feel like I have more joy in my heart and in my head this year than I had even 6 to 8 months ago, you know, and I feel so grateful for that. So don't give in to the fear of things before you have to. I mean, not every move will be a good move for people. Trust me, I know that. But you know, even from personal experience, but not everything will be a good change. But sometimes you have to give yourself the space to feel that worry, but then not completely let it incapacitate you, and then just kind of roll with it and see where it lands you, because it might land you in a place that is better than you expected, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, it'll be 2 years on the 24th, and it just feels so big, but so like, yeah, I had a stroke almost 2 years ago at this point. At least when I was telling those nurses. And they were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And I just was like, what is... And then it dawned on me, I'm like, how are you not feeling that shock the way they are? And it's like, because, well, I've been living with it, number one. But also, I don't look at it the same way. At least right now I don't. And I'm grateful for that, because last year was rough. And then that made me remember how I felt about it last year. And I was panicked leading up to that. I just have to get to that year. I have to get to that year and get through it safely and healthy. And it's just funny. Life is funny. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope wherever you are that you have a low pain, no pain, low aggravation, no aggravation kind of a day, kind of a week, and kind of a weekend to come. That's what we hope for. That's what we deserve. That is what I truly, truly wish for each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. I will see you on the weekend for the blog, next week for everything. Take care and have a good night. Bye.